The Expanse originated as an RPG environment that the creators had developed, and I think that shows in the developments we've had so far. We have a small party on the Canterbury, pulled into a mystery, then pulled into a massively different situation than what they were accustomed to. Major action happens, and the heroes finally get their own gunship to go on their merry way. The plotline has that sort of campaign evolution to it for them. Now, this is further modified still for the series, but that sense still remains even with the extra events added on during their journey to gaining their gunship. Miller's development is very enjoyable. Thomas Jane really gives the character weight, and the idea of giving him the hat may make the noir a little on the nose, yet it's hard to imagine him without it. Sometimes on the nose is just what's called for. In the beginning, we're introduced to Miller as a detective who walks a line between being disillusioned with the corrupt system he has learned to accept and his inability to shake an impulse to try, in small ways, to cut Belters at the bottom slack. It's the Julie Mao case that alters his trajectory forever, becoming an obsession for him. He may be right that she's tied into all of this, but even if she wasn't, he would continue. It's not enough to know she's gone. He needs to know what happened, needs to know what she was part of. It's her influence, despite never meeting him, that causes his arc to bend, to do more for his fellow Belters instead of just accepting the unfairness of life out here in the Belt. As I said, the hat is to make him feel more like an Earther. Yet when he looks at Julie Mao, a girl who had more than he could ever hope to have, and turns her back on it to commit to a life of helping the Belt, it forces him to see that he gives less than nothing. It's clear that part of what drives this investigation is the personal journey for him that it has become. That some part of him thinks that at the end won't just be the answer to the mystery, but an answer that he has always needed. Holden, the other principal, is part of an ensemble, sure, but he's on a journey of his own. It starts with the rejection of a position as a leader, yet all too quickly he starts to take a leadership role. Yet Holden is his own worst enemy, a tendency to speak and act without thinking first. He grew up an only child on a farm in Montana on a planet that is overcrowded. In other words, someone born to more than the others ever had, and that includes one of them who was born on Earth. Consequently, it seems that he doesn't want to accept an unfair reality, while the others have had to deal with that unfairness their whole lives. People who know there are moments when you do what Miller chastised Havelock for not doing. Look down and keep your mouth shut. Even his dishonorable discharge can fit into a personal narrative of, I took my licks for speaking truth to power. But there's a profound difference between pain and suffering. Pain happens and is unavoidable. Suffering is ongoing, and one can only hope it will end. Holden is initially what Miller thought Julie Mao was. Not rich, of course, but he has only felt pain. He has not suffered. So he can say and do things others won't, because life hasn't beaten him down to understand there are times when you shouldn't. What fascinated Miller about Julie Mao in part is learning she had felt suffering and refused to let it stop her. Now, of course, I didn't bring that up to rag on Holden, but rather to see his journey. He started with this place of idealism, yet now he's responsible for all those deaths, including Shed's, because he chose idealism over the captain's experience. He may start a war. He's the face of rioting. He is being shown that his actions are far, far bigger than himself now, on a system-wide scale, in fact. He is also responsible for the 3 survivors that are left, forcing him to travel that leader path that he'd rejected because he has to own his choice. He got them into this, and one has fallen already. He can't play the martyred or the noble earther anymore. He's got to be the one to keep these people alive. We've finished the first half of Season 1. Next month, we're going to close out both The Expanse and For All Mankind's first seasons. Enjoy your holiday.